In this video, we are starting with file input output operations. So let's say there may be a certain situation where we want to access a file through our Java code at any point of time. So what happens then? So when we develop any Java application, then we may get the requirement to interact with various input output devices, and the input output devices are the part of underlying hardware and operating systems. So to interact with the input output devices through Java program or application, some implementations need to be used. So let's start with what is file input output operation. On in short form we call it file IO. I stands for input and O stands for the output. So Java input output stream. So always if we say file IO, then it's basically related to Java input output stream meant for input operation and output operation. So Java IO stream is the flow of data that you can either read from or you can write to. So it is always used to perform the read and write operations in the file permanently. The Java uses the streams to perform these tasks. Uh, and the Java IO stream is also called as file handling or file IO, and it's always available in the java.io package, as you see in this example. So Java IO package, it provides different classes for system and input and output through files, network streams, memory, buffers, etc. So some input output stream will be initialized automatically by the Java virtual machine, and these streams are available in the system class in or out variable. So what are those in and out variables? So the in reference refers to the default input device, that is our keyboard, and out refers to the default output device, that is our console. So output and the input are referring to the input and output operations on the devices linked to it. So let's say if we are learning about file IO, so we should be clear about the streams. So what kind of streams? For input operation we use the input stream, and for output operation we use the output stream. So these two things are basically important. So so based on data, so what kind of data that you want to read from a file or write into a file. So and those data can be again of various types. Let me just show it to you. Okay, so here, as you see, there are different types of data. So if you want to read the data based on in the form of bytes, so one byte is 8 bits. So if you want to read or write in the form of byte data, so there is a different way of doing that. So character stream, if you want to read the file in the form of characters one by one. So there are different methods of doing that. Streams are of two types: ByteStream, character stream. So ByteStream is associated with input stream, output stream, and character stream is read or written through reader and writer class. So how we will see them later. Now let's see first our class file input stream. So basically going through the program, we should be clear about these things. So the class file input stream, it actually reads input bytes from a file in a system, and it's always essential for reading the streams of raw bytes. It may be one image data. Okay, so it can be input stream. It can be always in the form of reading data in the form of bytes, and the output stream is meant for writing the streams of raw bytes, and so output stream associated with outputting or writing, and input stream associated with reading or inputting. So let's see one example for that. Okay, so in this example, as you see, we have One example here, what we are trying to do in this example, we have one file. Uh, the name is Xanadu, and here, where is that file? I have attached this file here it is. So let me just open it and see this much text I have in this Xanadu doc text um, file. And what am I trying to write? So I'm just writing whatever data I have in the source file generator to another one file out again, and I have not added that file in here. So when we will be running this code, so automatically the data will be read from this generator and will be written on out again file. Automatically it will be populated in the out again file. So let's see here. Different packages such as Java IO file input stream, output stream, and for exceptional handling, we are using the input output exception, java.io.io exception. So let's first see here. Starting with the class, in the main method, we have created one in variable. So it's a type of input file input stream for inputting the data that is created like this in this form. First it is assigned to null, then next the in is created with having opened this generator.txt file to be read from where we want to input the data into our destination file out again. Then the out file output stream is supposed to be created out throughout variable for the new file out again. Now next we are using one C variable integer type. So it's for reading all the characters or all the data that we have in the generator.txt file. And as always, each character or each letter, any special symbol that you have, you always use in your programming, they are always considered in the form of ASCII value. So that is why ASCII values are in the form of numeric format. So that's why we are having this in integer format. Now through a loop, we are just trying to go through each one by one in the text that you see here in the generator.txt file. One by one, we are just reading the characters, and that will be written into our output file out again. So for that, we have this while loop. So this input output stream in variable is supposed to read the data, and whatever data is read character wise. So in individually in the byte format. So that will be seen if that data is not equal to -1. If the data exists there, so it's still there, it exists, so that is why it's not -1. So if this falls true, then the data is to be written into the output, that is our out again file. Okay, this loop is for meant for writing data from one file to another one file. Now next, to avoid some of the circumstances that may arise while reading or writing into files, to avoid them, we use the finally block. And in here, what we are trying to do, we want to just close the input and output stream through the in and out variable that we have created. Why? Because there may be certain kind of events where the files will be unable to open or close the stream when they are no longer needed. So it's important that to copy so that our class should use a finally block, and it will make sure that both of the input and output streams will be closed even there is some sort of error, if there some kind of error persists. So in that case, if we just close them, everything will be okay. And there is also one concept of resource leak, so it avoids that concept as well. So let me just run the code and then see what happens. You already know what you have in this file, this text. Now we don't have the output file. So let me run the code and then let's see what happens here. So it ran successfully. I have not added any print statement. That's why you are not able to view anything here. So do we have this file? let's see. So to see that, I need to refresh my project, and that should be, yeah, here it's created out again. So now let's see, from here whatever text I have, it read byte by bytes and copied over or written over in the out again text. This is how to use the file input stream and output stream.